Hello everybody, my name is Mandy and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about my non-scary fall book recommendations, aka the Wimp's Guide to Fall Reading. Now I am not a person who enjoys to watch scary things during October or during the fall. It's just not my cup of tea. I can't imagine that I am the only one out there, so without further ado, let's get to it. The first book that I want to recommend to you guys is Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. I know that there are a lot of Jane Austen fans out there. I'm sure many of you have read this book before, but this book was in response, almost a parody of the Gothic fiction that existed at the time of Jane Austen's writing. So you've got a girl named Catherine who reads a ton of Gothic fiction. You've got the scary things, there's always a skeleton in the closet, there's always a deep dark secret, especially when it comes to abbeys. So when she goes with some family friends to Bath, she meets a guy named Mr. Tilney, who she believes herself in love with. She is very excited when he invites her to visit his family home, Northanger Abbey. And because she reads so much Gothic fiction, she just knows that he's got deep, dark secrets hidden in the house. As I said, this is more of a parody on Gothic fiction, and it's so fun when you look at it with an open mind. She expects to find skeletons in the closet, and what does she find? Clothes. Who would have guessed? How diabolical. So it's so much fun, it's so funny, and it is a nice faux spooky book for the fall season and Halloween. The next book I have to recommend to you is one that I also mentioned in my Books That Need More Love video that I will link below. And this book is Dairy Queen by Catherine Gilbert Murdoch. So basically you have a girl named DJ whose family works a dairy farm. They've owned it for years, and there's a lot of stuff in her family that hasn't been said. There is a lot that they don't talk about to each other, and while this partially takes place in the summer, it also takes place in the school year when she decides to go out for her school's football team as a girl. And because there's so many, this book has a lot of football feels in a non-sporty kind of way, in a way that I, who don't enjoy sports, likes to read. And because fall is kind of sporty time, it's the time when football starts up, I thought that it was a good fall time read. The next book that I have to recommend to you is Bewitching by Alex Flynn. So this book is another one in what are called the Kendra Chronicles. If you have ever read Beastly by Alex Flynn, it is a Beauty and the Beast retelling where a guy is very cocky at the top of his school, and when he acts too cocky, the school's local weird girl, who happens to be a witch, turns him into a beast. There was a movie that was made off of it. The book is better than the movie, but I haven't read the book in a long time, so I can't tell you much else about it. But this book is told through the point of view of the witch as she goes about her next befuddlement. You find out that throughout history, she has actually done a lot of messing around with people's lives, and it doesn't always go well. And this book is about that, but also about her most recent attempt to fix things with her magic. I haven't read this one in a few years, but I remember enjoying it. They have a bunch of books out there that are part of the Kendra Chronicles, that's her name. There are a few that I haven't read yet and I want to read. They're on my list, but I remember enjoying them and that she was a really fun narrator. So this is the one I'm recommending, even though Beastly is technically the first one. It's standalone, and Kendra's really fun. So we'll take the fun part of witches for Halloween in this book. Another thing that I enjoy when it comes to fall is fairy tale retellings. I don't know, it just feels like fall is the time for fairy tales. My next fairy tale retelling is has nothing to do with a retelling put into modern days. It's a retelling in olden days again, and that is Goose Girl by Shannon Hale. This is a very popular one. I'm sure that many of you have read this one before. This is the first book in her series called The Books of Bayern, where it sets up this world and we follow characters that you meet in this book in the rest of the series. And to be honest, this one's my favorite one. The other ones are still good, but I don't really feel the desire to reread them like I do this book. Basically, you have a princess who is sent to a faraway land to be married. Only partway through, her lady's maid actually takes over. The plan is to kill the princess and take over her life, and she has all of the guards on her side so that by the time she gets to this rival kingdom, no one will know that it's not the actual princess. Well, she does escape, and she actually ends up becoming the palace's goose girl. And that's all I'll say, because I probably spoiled a big first portion of the book. It takes a while to get to this point, but it's called the Goose Girl. You know that she's going to become the Goose Girl at some point. I feel like fall is the perfect time for fairy tale retellings, and this book is perfect to read for this season because of that. This next book is a little more on the horror side of things, but it is not scary. As someone who does not like scary things, I promise you, this one is not scary, even if the title may sound a little scary. Your next fall recommendation is The Mask of Red Death by Bethany Griffin. This basically falls more into a dystopian novel. This is in the future where a plague has devastated the world. This book is loosely based on the short story by Edgar Allan Poe, The Mask of Red Death. I remember I had to read that short story for a class in college, and it was spooky in a non-scary way, and I really enjoyed it. And so when I found out that this book was loosely based on that, I was excited. Basically, in this world, the plague has come, well, a plague has come, and a lot of it has devastated so many people. You have a girl who does not see life for all it could be, and she meets two guys. It is a little bit of a love triangle, and one of the guys is rich and wealthy, and the other guy is not very rich or wealthy, and she starts to learn more about what the plague is and how the plague was caused, and I honestly can't remember much more than that, but it definitely is well worth it if you want something on the spookier side that's not scary for this season. The last thing that fall makes me feel is the start of school. There are so many books that deal with the start of school and the end of summer, and the one that I have chosen to recommend to you is another one you probably have read anyways, but that is Fangirl by Ramble Rowell. This is about a girl who is starting college. It's her freshman year, and she spent her teenage life following Simon Snow, which is kind of like this world's Harry Potter, and she is a big fangirl, but because she has focused so much on Simon Snow, she has never really gone out of herself to make friends or anything like that. And this book is about her finding herself and finding that balance between still enjoying the books and things she loved while being able to grow and be her own person. Got a lot of themes of like new school year, and it takes place over longer than just fall, but because of the aspect of the new school year, I feel like it is a perfect thing to read for fall. Thank you so much for watching the Wimp's Guide to Fall Reading. I am a wimp. I fully acknowledge that. No scary movies or books in my house. Hopefully you enjoyed hearing some of my recommendations that are not along the normal lines of fall recommendations. At least I don't think they are. Let me know, what's your favorite book to read in the fall? I promise I won't delete your comment if it is something scary. Do you have anything non-scary that you'd like to recommend to me? I'd love to hear it. But if you liked what you saw today, feel free to click subscribe. You can also follow me on my social media, which I will link below. I hope you're having a great bookish day, and I'll see you next time.